Welcome to the Three Martini Lunch. Grab a stool next to Greg Columbus of Radio America and Jim Garrity of National Review. Three Martinis coming up.
Hey, really glad you're with us for the Thursday edition of the Three Martini Lunch. Jim Garrity, as you know, is away for a few weeks here, but we have an excellent lineup of guest hosts in his place, and today is certainly no exception. With me today, John Gabriel, the undisputed king of stuff, longtime editor at Ricochet.com. He is now a columnist for Discourse Magazine through the Mercatus Center, the Arizona Republic, USA Today, and you can find him in other places as well, including right here on the Three Martini Lunch. And John, I'm very appreciative of your time as always, but I know you were spending most of today, or at least planning to, trying to take out pi to the furthest decimal point. So hopefully I didn't interrupt you too much here.
It's a very special, I love this time of year. It's finally Pi Day again. I once got it out to, something like 25 numerals after the decimal point of memory serves in high school. And yes, I was that cool, ladies.
I was going to say, you were a chick magnet at that point.
Yeah.
I just assume. But nonetheless, we do have good, bad, and crazy martinis for you today. And John, let's start with our good martini. And for that, we actually go to the democratically controlled U.S. Senate. It's got nothing to do with Democrats, although wait till our bad martini. Then we will really be talking about Democrats in the U.S. Senate. But a Senate committee hearing, I believe it was the Judiciary Committee, focusing on voting. And Wesley Hunt, the Republican congressman from Texas, was testifying and explaining why laws for voter ID are not in any way burdensome to the American people, and to suggest that somehow they are racist or discriminatory or burdensome is actually a tremendous insult. First of all, we should point out that Wesley Hunt actually is a black man, and that's relevant mainly because of this particular clip where he explains that somehow he magically has 6 different forms of photo ID.
Sitting with me today is my global entry card, my military ID card, my Texas driver's license, my Texas license to carry, because that's how we roll in Texas, my congressional card, and of course, the good old-fashioned American passport. What sorcery is this? What am I, the Black Houdini? How was I able to pull off the impossible and attain not 1, not 2, not 3, but 6 government-issue IDs? Personal responsibility in this country.
And then he went on to say that the last time the Democrats threw a hissy fit about requiring voter ID and some other protections being in place was in Georgia following the 2020 elections. And Joe Biden went down there comparing people to Jefferson Davis and Bull Connor. But guess what happened in the election? Well, Congressman Hunt explains that too.
In the 2022 midterms in Georgia, it proved that election integrity and ballot accessibility can be achieved hand in hand. After the 2020 election, Georgia passed a voter election integrity law, and subsequently, the Department of Justice filed a lawsuit against the state of Georgia, alleging that the Georgia law is discriminatory and aims to restrict citizens from voting. President Biden even called this law, and I quote, Jim Crow 2.0. Really? In my humble opinion, referencing Jim Crow for common sense election integrity laws is offensive to those who actually experienced Jim Crow, like my parents and their parents before them. In fact, the law wasn't discriminatory at all, because in the 2022 midterms, Georgia voters shattered voter turnout records across the state.
Wasn't just Jim Crow 2.0, John. It was Jim Eagle, as you probably remember. And so indisputable arguments here from Congressman Hunt. And if you look at polling, that puts the lie to it too, because even among black voters, it's either high 70s, sometimes into the 80s, wanting voter ID. Americans want secure elections. The only people that don't, apparently, are Democrats.
Yeah, it's so obvious, and Representative Hunt put it so perfectly. It's great to see. One thing that I've shared with many people who are arguing against voter ID, saying somehow it's racist, is a photo of Nelson Mandela wearing a shirt saying, "Get your ID, then vote." To say that somebody can't get an ID, it's almost like saying the TSA is racist because they want you to have an ID to travel. We're having an issue right now. My daughter is attending school out of state and just realized her Arizona ID is out of date. And she's like, oh no, we got to get this renewed before the semester is over, yeah, we'll be able to figure it out because we're human beings, just like any other human being in America can get an ID. We all basically need an ID anyway, just to exist in life. And if you're incapable of getting an ID, I don't know, call a friend, they'll help you out.
I remember when Eric Holder was pushing this idea that it was financially burdensome, and Republican governors were saying, okay, fine, you can get it for free if you can't afford the $10 or $15, whatever it is, to get the photo ID. And like you said, you need it for virtually everything else, including fishing licenses, going to the bank, flying on a plane, and virtually everything else in life, but apparently not for that. Makes you wonder why, I guess. But good to have Wesley Hunt out there exposing the lie. The Democrats won't stop pushing it, of course, but having the truth right in their face is always kind of fun.
And it's always great, too, when someone can present the truth simply, but also in a very funny way. So he did a great job.
All right, well, let's talk about some more good news, and that's 4Patriots, where you can find them at 4patriots.com/martini and find all the great deals, including getting a free solar panel with the purchase of the Patriot Power Generator 2000X. As we always say with 4Patriots, you need to be prepared because you just don't know when the power is going to go out. The Patriot Power Generator 2000X, worth its weight in gold because it has double the capacity and is expandable, so you can run all the big appliances like your fridge, your freezer, and medical devices. Comes with 12 outlets, including 4 AC, plus 2 USB-C outlets that can charge your phone 20 times faster than a regular plug. Never needs gas thanks to that solar panel. Fume-free, silent, and safe. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Visit 4patriots.com/martini to get your Patriot Power Generator 2000X with the free solar panel included. Plus, get free shipping on orders over $97. Save more and get peace of mind now by going to the number 4patriots.com/martini. That's 4patriots.com/martini. All right, John, on to our bad martini. And as the mainstream media and the Democratic Party will tell you, democracy, well, first of all, it can die in darkness, according to the Washington Post, but it's hanging by a thread here in the United States. It's on the precipice. Apparently, that only works when you're accusing one party and in one particular country, because when the Democrats try to tell other countries how to elect their leaders and when it's time for a new election, apparently that's totally fine as of today, thanks to Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, who has declared that Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli prime minister, is an obstacle to peace. I think genocidal attacks are an obstacle to peace, but, that's just me. But Senator Schumer took to the Senate floor to urge new elections in Israel. Pay attention to the doublespeak here as he claims that basically going forward with Netanyahu is a non-starter in trying to achieve peace and nothing good can happen while he's in office. But the decision in a new election is totally up to the Israeli people, and the U.S. would not interfere at all. Take a listen.
At this critical juncture, I believe a new election is the only way to allow for a healthy and open decision-making process about the future of Israel. At a time when so many Israelis have lost their confidence in the vision and direction of their government. I also believe a majority of the Israeli public will recognize the need for change, and I believe that holding a new election, once the war starts to wind down, would give Israelis an opportunity to express their vision for the post-war future. Of course, the United States cannot dictate the outcome of an election, nor should we try. That is for the Israeli public to decide. A public that I believe understands better than anybody that Israel cannot hope to succeed as a pariah opposed by the rest of the world.
John, I'm totally not trying to influence the Israeli people about whether or not they want to be a pariah in the world. So, this might not be as brazen as Clinton sending Begala and Carville to Israel to help Ehud Barak beat Netanyahu a quarter century ago, but this is just side switching. From just a few months ago, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. And it's always, for, as you mentioned with Bill Clinton, just for decades now, it drives me crazy because America will hoot and holler and yell because Russia bought $25 of Facebook ads just before an election. And then we try to manipulate and order other countries around like they're our colony. Israel is not an American colony. They're a sovereign nation. They can make their own decisions. And if you look at polling, Netanyahu isn't doing great. He wasn't doing before the hideous attack in October. He's not doing great now. But one thing Israelis do agree on is getting rid of Hamas. And what's odd about this to me, it's kind of very similar to the thing with a much, much worse person, Vladimir Putin. Hey, if we can just change the leader, that'll fix things. No, it won't, because the Israeli people, they really want to stick it to Hamas. Whether you agree with it or not, whether you agree with their process of doing it or not, the Israeli people are behind it. And it's very frustrating to see America thinking it can still order people around and tell them what to do. Sorry, these are democracies, and they are allowed to make their own decisions, whether we like it or not.
Absolutely right. I mean, in a parliamentary system, I guess it varies a little bit from country to country that uses that system, but essentially you have elections under a few different circumstances. One, your coalition falls apart. Two, your main party has a no confidence vote that you lose, or you reach a regularly scheduled election, which is what's going to happen in England this year, and the Tories are probably going to get buried, which is not going to be good, but that's a whole different story. And so the idea of pushing these elections when I don't think the Israeli people want them. You mentioned Netanyahu's numbers aren't great. At some point, I think he's going to have to answer for the intelligence failure on October 7th. But the bigger issue right now is crushing Hamas. And referencing back to the election of Ehud Barak, his attempt to give away virtually the store to Yasser Arafat in 2000 killed the Labor Party. He was the last Labor Party prime minister. Then we got Ariel Sharon. And everybody now is very hawkish, whether they're in Likud or anywhere else in Israel. So like you said, no matter who wins the election, choking the life out of Hamas is going to be priority number one.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is not the Cold War era where it's either us or the Soviet Union for most Western aligned states, let's say. The view worldwide was a lot starker then. That isn't it today. People are going their own way. They're making their own decisions. It would be kind of like us demanding Ukraine. We don't like how the war is going. You need to switch leaders. That's not our role. And it's not our role in Israel. All America should be doing, which we did at the beginning, is basically hold Israel's coat and help them out as they make the decisions that will preserve their present and their future.
No, that's exactly right. And when Schumer says that Netanyahu is a obstacle to peace, it means he's not in favor of a two-state solution, otherwise phrased as rewarding rampant genocidal terrorism with their own sovereign state. Can't imagine why he'd be opposed to something like that.
Yeah. And there's peace process people from Foggy Bottom have been wrong about Israel and Palestine for as long as I've been alive. So maybe give other voices a try.
That was the great thing about the Abraham Accords. They thought outside the box, didn't wait for the Palestinians to get on board because they knew they probably never would. Was making great strides, and now Biden's basically undermining all that because, well, if Trump did it, it can't possibly be good, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Fast Growing Trees is the biggest online nursery in the United States with more than 10,000 different kinds of plants and more than 2 million happy customers in the United States. You can grow lemon, avocado, olive, or fig trees inside your home on top of the wide variety of houseplants they have available. Fast Growing Trees makes it easy to order online, and your plants are shipped directly to your door in 1 to 2 days. And along with their 30-day Alive and Thrive guarantee, they offer free plant consultation forever. Mrs. Columbus and I have gotten several different plants from Fast Growing Trees. Just got the deck kit this week that Mrs. Columbus is excited about setting up. Just need to make sure the squirrels stay away, and then those plants will be alive and thriving, no doubt. So Fast Growing Trees has the best deals online, up to half off on select plants. And listeners to this show get an additional 15% off their first purchase when using the code Martini at checkout. That's an additional 15% off at fastgrowingtrees.com using the code Martini at checkout. Fastgrowingtrees.com, code Martini. Offer is valid for a limited time, and tell them that we sent you. All right, John, on to our crazy martini now, which is kind of embedded in a really, really bad martini. Once again, the nation of Haiti is in complete chaos. Unfortunately, that's not a rare story down there, but now it's especially bad. The president has fled. He's promising to resign. Free Beacon basically sums it up this way. Haiti's recent riots and gang violence have displaced about 15,000 people, with local gang members looting, burning buildings, and attacking police stations. Thousands of prisoners have escaped onto the streets, which are reportedly littered with corpses in Port-au-Prince, the nation's capital. Gang members have also shut down airports and the road access to the neighboring Dominican Republic. And so basically pure gang-related chaos going on now, absolute anarchy there. We're also hearing that the immigration officials in this country, particularly in Florida, are on alert now for a massive influx of these people. And now that we know that the prisoners have all escaped, I'm sure that's going to be a fun process if and when they make it to our shores. But the crazy part of this comes on an NBC story that has decided that the real problem here, John, is not the gangs. It's not the anarchy. It's not the complete lawlessness and the murdered corpses littering the streets. No. Of course, it's conservatives in America who have spread, according to NBC News, unverified claims to millions, smearing Haitian immigrants as cannibals as they endure deep uncertainty about the future of their country. And where in the world would conservatives have gotten this idea? Oh, I don't know, maybe because there's a gang called Cannibal Army down there. In fact, the fourth paragraph of this story says, the accusations of widespread cannibalism are based on what experts said was a likely intimidation tactic from select gang members. That would be pretty effective. In some videos, the more prominent examples being at least 2 years old, alleged members of violent gangs in Haiti appear to bite into human flesh. Experts said these videos are likely part of propaganda campaigns designed to scare rivals and terrorize local Haitians, rather than a reflection of common or normalized behavior. So it's not everyone that's engaging in cannibalism, John. It's just certain people, and maybe it's more intimidation than actual common practice. But they go by the Cannibal Army, at least some of them did. And there was one major gang leader who went by Barbecue. And I'm sure you don't get that nickname just because you like to grill burgers once in a while. So what do you make of not only the chaos down there, but already the mainstream media trying to blame the chaos or find the real villain here to be the American right?
Yeah, well, it's not, okay, it's cannibalism, but it's not cannibalism. You know, I don't know why you conservatives don't understand that. It's a cultural thing. Yeah, it's just ludicrous. Our media beclowns themselves. They probably don't know Haiti. They probably couldn't find it on a map. They might think it's somewhere in Southeast Asia. I'm not sure. Actually, I had, back in college, roommate, one of my roommates was a guy who had lived in Haiti for several years. And actually, the first long-form journalism I ever did was talking with him, his experiences there. That was back when Aristide was overthrown, and they didn't practice cannibalism, to my knowledge. They practiced necklacing, which included a car tire around someone's neck filled with fuel, and then it got worse. So, yeah, Haiti has been a mess for a long time. These back and forth cycles of severe violence going on between different factions, gangs, political parties, just very aggressive political enforcers. So Haiti has a lot of problems, and they're very, very Haitian. They're unlike next door in Dominican Republic. They're unlike through the rest of Latin America. And no American conservatives on Twitter did not cause this problem in Haiti. And as tragic as the story is there, and we wish them well and their best, but sorry, this is another example of conservatives are bad people because we notice what's actually happening.
So we're pouncing? Is that what's happening here?
Right. Conservatives pounce. Barbecue eats a dude, conservatives pounce. So,
right. Well, you know who's going to end up solving this whole thing, of course? The Clinton Foundation. The Haitians love the Clinton Foundation.
Yeah, they really fixed up Haiti really nice.
Yeah, they fleeced the Haitian people big time, and others, donors to Haitian earthquake relief back around 2010, I think it was, and just one of the more egregious examples, and there are many in the Clinton legacy. But like you said, John, most seriously, I mean, for the people of Haiti, there are plenty of people who just want stability and law and order and the best possible life down there. And unfortunately, they're facing a lot of bad people. But We'll pray for their future. John, always good to have you with us today, and we'll do it again tomorrow and close out the week. See you then.
Sounds great. See you then.
John Gabriel is the undisputed king of stuff. Don't you dare dispute that he's the king of stuff, because it is completely undisputed. Longtime editor-in-chief at Ricochet.com. He is a contributor to Discourse Magazine with the Mercatus Center, the Arizona Republic, USA Today, and more. Don't forget to subscribe to the 3 Martini Lunch podcast if you don't already. Also, tell your friends to do it as well. Thank you for your 5-star ratings and your kind reviews. Please keep those coming. Also, get us on your home devices. All you have to say is play 3 Martini Lunch podcast. Follow all of us on Twitter. John is at XJohn, EXJON. Jim is at Jim Garrity, and I'm at Dateline_DC. Have a terrific Thursday, and join us again on Friday for the next 3 Martini Lunch.